Monday. It's Tyler here again hosting the Mallett Live. We're going to jump right into this one today. We're here with Mr. Darrell, our in-house engineer, as always on Monday, and we're going to talk about the importance of concrete in every hole. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a good episode, but as always, let's start off with what we like to do for those who help others in our area. $500 off your Mallett building if you are a healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, or teacher and or educator. Again, we appreciate what you do. Thank you so much for serving our community, and this is just our little way of thanking you for the big things that you do. Thank you so much for what you do for all of us and our community again. Moving forward, Tiger Cash. If you comment cash on a live stream just like this, you can get $1,000 off your elite or signature building. So be sure you comment on the live stream or the review of the live stream, and if you mention that to your building specialist, you can get $1,000 off. Side note, this does not apply to specials or promotional pricing, just our original prices because they're already good deals. So $1,000 off an already good deal, you know? But speaking of good deals, if you are first responder, healthcare worker, military personnel, or teacher and or educator, you can get an additional $1,000 off if you comment cash, bringing your total to $1,500. How cool is that? Just a little way of saying thank you. So where's Mallett? We've been playing with these maps. Look at the color coding we got going on. So as you can see, we have gutters, forms, concrete, things to be delivered this week. That's going to be putting the materials on location. Inspections, in construction, plumbing, finishers, control joints, on the ground. There's much more going on, but we are everywhere from Texas to Louisiana. We're even in Mississippi some this week, and we got 97 jobs going on. All that's crazy to me, honestly, but it is happening all this week with Mallett Buildings. Look at this cluster right here, all the different colors. That's so cool to see. And breaking that down a little bit more, here in Louisiana, we are in multiple locations, ranging from everywhere Franklinton to Iota to where it looks like we're all over around Baton Rouge, the Lafayette area, just before New Orleans, all over the place, you guys. Here, same story, everywhere from Port Arthur over almost to the Waco area, a little past College Station here, the Galveston area, all over the map, you guys. Mallett is everywhere. So November specials and promotions, we got a bunch of cool stuff happening for you. Happy Monday, Mr. Tim. Always a pleasure to see you. But specials and promotions, let's move right along. Get this beautiful Mallett Classic for $33,999, you guys. That's going to be a 30 by 30 by 12 with a 30 by 20 gable extension, all for $33,999. Thank you very much, Mr. Tim. I too am enjoying the new map. We're going to keep playing with it and see what it looks the best moving forward. But these Mallett Classics are going to come with a 26 gauge metal standard. That's our standard procedure, is a 26 gauge metal, as well as a 5-on-12 roof pitch, 2x12 headers, and 2x8 scissor trusses, which are rated for 170 miles per hour on the roof. Those trusses are also third-party inspected. We have some content coming soon of that inspector. Be on the lookout for that. This week, we had an interview with him last week. It went amazing. Some quick information for you guys. But he's going to talk a little bit more about why those inspections are so important. The Mallett cable lock system, we stress this all the time because it's such an amazing feature here. That is aircraft cable that is tied underneath the concrete slab that goes from post to post with these massive eye bolts, and that's all going to be put together underneath the concrete slab. So not only are the posts connected crossways, horizontally, vertically, all throughout the bottom of the building, the concrete slab is actually poured on top of that. What this is going to do is this is going to help prevent uplift. Say a door malfunctions during a heavy storm or a hurricane, and wind's just going to act like a parachute. We talk about this all the time, but this is going to help prevent that from keeping your building from flying away. It's going to keep it there, help with uplift control. No one else is doing this. This is the Mallett cable lock system. It's definitely one of the professional, amazing features here at Mallett that I love so much. Concrete under every post. Mr. Darrell is going to get into a little bit more why that is important later. Every Classic comes with a 4-inch, 4,000 PSI concrete slab, skirt board guards, 4-year workmanship warranty, #1 MCA, ground-treated, kiln-dried lumber. Only the best here from Mallett. An in-house engineer, and the designs and trusses are verified internally and third-party, as well as if you have a quote you feel is a Mallett building, bring it to us, and if it is a Mallett building from a competitor, we'll beat it by $1,000. and make sure you get a real Mallett building. Again, that's just for $33,999, 30 by 30 by 12. We have 2 more sizes on special this month only in November. A 30 by 50 by 12 with a 30 by 24 gable extension is going to be $44,999, keeping all the same specs, features, and wonderful product here at Mallett as the previous one. Moving right along, we have the top tier for this month's special, $69,999. You get a 40 by 60 by 12 with a 40 by 30 gable extension. That could be perfect for all the family gatherings, the cook-offs, the crawfish boils, when LSU's better next year, you can get together and watch them play some football because they're hurting right now. It's a little rough, but we didn't do as bad as I thought we would against Alabama. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Darrell? I was expecting a lot worse. Not too bad of a game, only about a 12-point difference, give or take, but wasn't too bad. But moving right along to something more exciting, the Rival Series. We talked about this Friday. Mr. Lee shocked everybody this weekend with a brand new lineup for the Mallett here. Rival Series, it is not a Mallett building, but it's Mallett built. Now, what does that mean? Let's talk about that real quick, clear the air. I know we were all excited Friday, but let's take a second, talk about what these are. The Rival Series, we're gonna start with a 30 by 30 by 12 for, check this out, $18,999. Now, how do we do that? Well, we've seen a lot of people talking about, well, this builder's cheaper, this thing is this is that, and they're correct. That build is cheaper. It is more cheaply made. There's just a lot of things about it that don't make it a Mallett building. It's Mallett built though. When you get a Rival Series from us, you can get those lower prices. You can get those different materials possibly, but it's not gonna have all the bells and whistles of a Mallett building, but you still get the best builder in the country. Here at Mallett, we are the best builders and we make the best buildings, but if you are more budget friendly, more budget conscious, look at that, $18,999, under $19,000 for a 30 by 30. We'll come make sure it's built by Mallett. So we also have the 30 by 50 by 12 for $27,999. Same concept, we will come build you the building. Moving right along, the 40 by 60 by 12 for $39,999. Look at these prices. Look at the size of these buildings for these prices. You can't find that anywhere else. And we will make sure the best builder in the country comes and puts it up for you. So more information on that coming, but if you have any questions, concerns, get with us. We will make sure to send you as much as we have on that. So this screen looks a little different. The Mallett Ambassador Club. We're revamping the whole thing. We are very thankful for all the ambassadors we've had up until this moment, and we're super happy to be announcing all the new ones coming up here soon. More information on that to come. If you are already an ambassador, thank you. Be on the lookout for information for some upcoming events. If you're not an ambassador, I'm sorry, this doesn't apply to you. Make sure you reach out to figure out how to become an ambassador, and you too can have fun with us at these cool private ambassador events coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're planning it currently, and I cannot wait. It's going to be tasty and fun. Trust me, you're going to want to be a part of it. Let us know. Give us a call at 337-214-0428. Visit us online or send us a email here at the marketing division, the mallettconstructionmarketing@gmail.com. We'll make sure to answer any and all questions, but more to come on that soon. So the 5 red flags, switching these up a little bit, we want to take a little bit more time to focus on each one because they are so important. So red flag number 1, as always, it is years in business. Check how long the business has been around on the Secretary of State website. You want to make sure the things that this company is offering, they've been around long enough to make sure they're correct about it. They can't be offering a warranty that's been around longer than they have. That just doesn't sit right with me. That sounds weird. That's a red flag in my book. So make sure you check on the Secretary of State how long that company's been around. Licensure. Ensure the company you are considering doing business with is actually a licensed company. You can check that on the LSLBC, which is the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors. Make sure they are a licensed contractor and they are doing things legally, because if they're willing to skimp on one thing, you can be sure they're willing to skimp on something else, and you don't want that to be your building. Moving right along to contractor violations, you can also find this on the LSLBC, but make sure, same concept with the license. Make sure the people you're considering doing business with is free of contractor violations. Here at Mallett Buildings, in over 26 years, we have 0 contractor violations because we do things by the books and we do things the best ways possible. So be sure the person you're interviewing to build your next building does the same thing. Reviews on the BBB and Google, we're proud to say we are an A+ rating on the BBB with over 600 reviews between Google and the BBB. But don't just take the company at their word, see what the public has to say as well. Check all of these reviews and see who you're shopping with and see how they have done on their past work. You can do this again at the BBB and Google. Public opinion is important. Of course, there's always this way, that way. Everyone has something to say. You can put that all together, make an informed decision based on what the public has experienced in the past. Most businesses don't have the best reviews, if any, here at Mallett, though there aren't all perfect. We got over 600 reviews, and I promise you'll find enough good ones in there to make you realize we've done what we say we do. So, and finally, red flag number 5, visit the contractor's facility. See where your building is prepped before we bring the materials to your site. Here at Mallett, we have our own truss plant, so each 2x8 scissor truss is made in-house. We would love to give you a tour and show you the process and our facility, so come on by. We love when you guys pop in. Let's just meet you, shake your hands, see you in person, let you see the truss plant, the new roll form plant coming. Again, if you've passed I-10 through the I-Way area, you've seen all this happening real time, but stop by. It looks much cooler on the inside, I promise. So make sure you come by for that. We'd, again, love to show you around. So why Mallett? Made some few adjustments. We talked about earlier, what does the Rival Series offer that isn't included in the Mallett Classic? Nothing, I would say, but the Mallett Classic has a few things that aren't in the Rival Series. So let's go ahead and talk about that. The Rival Series is going to be 29 gauge metal, 4-on-12 roof pitch. Most people are going to have the 2x6 trusses, common flats. I believe we're still doing scissor trusses here, but check me on that one. That's going to give you about 130 mile-an-hour wind rating on the building, though. We're not going to get the Mallett cable lock system. You will get posts in the dirt and the gravel. I believe we're going to do the concrete again. New series, so check me on that. But you see this is the same chart we've been using. It's the same concept. But what do you get in the Mallett Classic? As we mentioned before, 26 gauge metal is standard, 5-on-12 pitch, 2x8 scissor trusses, third-party inspected trusses, 170 mile-an-hour on the roof. Mallett cable lock system, concrete under every post. The list goes on and on. We've been over this. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All the things you can fit into one building, right? Please, pictures. I can have some pictures of the roll form plant in tomorrow's live if you'd like, Mr. Tim. We should actually be talking something about that here soon, so maybe sooner than you think.
Man.
Oh, that definitely seems like spam. We're not going to waste our time reading that. So moving right along, it is time for Mr. Darrell to come talk about the importance of having concrete in every hole. Thank you guys so much, and let's go ahead, Mr. Darrell.
Hey, I'm Darrell, the engineer here at Mallett, and I've been busy doing what I do here, and what I do for a living is solve problems mostly, and you know, some of them are like homework, but then there's other things as situations come up, and the value of having an engineer on staff like Mallett does with me is that you never know when the permit office is going to require me to write a letter so that you can move forward in your project, and or change something on the plan so you can get your permit. And I do that kind of stuff every day, not just on Mondays, but every day, and I'm always available to keep the process moving. And here at Mallett, we prioritize projects, especially when they're in the permitting process, because we understand that if we don't make these changes, everything stops dead in the water. Whether it be South Central Planning or what other plan review entity that you're dealing with. But today what I wanted to talk about was this matter of concrete in the hole. Now, because we mentioned that. And so So what we do at Mallett, I took a picture of on an auger that we use. So we use a 16-inch auger or an 18-inch auger, and that's how we get a 3-foot deep hole that is 16 to 18 inches in diameter, and that's a picture of the auger. And then if I wouldn't have been so busy today, I would have typed this, but since I was busy, I just had to write it. And you'll notice I have that real boring kind of print that engineers write with. So we use a 16 or 18-inch auger to construct a 3-foot deep hole. And the sacked concrete has a compressive strength of 3,000 pounds per square inch. Now, I don't know. You may have heard that and thought about it, but it literally means what it says. So the way they test concrete is they make a cylinder that's 6 inches in diameter and about a foot tall. And they put it in a machine and they attempt to crush it. And that's where they come up with this tremendous strength of 3,000 pounds per square inch. Now, a square inch is about the hole, like that. That little bitty hole right there can hold 3,000 pounds. So what that tells you simplistically is that when the post is sitting on this 18-inch diameter circle of concrete that's going to be 3 to 6 inches deep, you can be assured that the post, that load is going to be transferred to the soil by the concrete. In other words, the concrete's not going to crush. It's going to transfer the load. And so it's very much like, I guess if you've ever dealt with a muddy situation, you could throw a piece of plywood out in a piece on the ground in a swampy area, and you could step on that plywood and not sink. Whereas if you step off of the plywood, your foot would go down into the mud. And so why? Well, it's because the load is distributed. It's a very simple process, but it's very important because the column load from the dead load of the structure, that is just what the structure weighs, is between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds. And then you have these really quick loads from the wind that occur, even in a hurricane. So people don't realize that the wind load is a 3-second gust. And so that's 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, boop. And if you've ever been around during a hurricane, which probably a lot of you haven't, and I never have, but even in a tropical storm that I have been around in tropical storms where the wind would blow maybe 60, 70 miles an hour, that's the way the wind blows. It comes in gusts. It comes in pushes. And even the way most of the trees fall is that the wind will hit them and they'll bend and they'll bend and they'll bend. And then after an hour of those intermittent forces, finally that tree will plop. It'll come down. So it's intermittent. So we're not talking about that today. We're talking about this constant load from the structures. It's 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. Now, the strength of the soil underneath that concrete is between 1,500 pounds per square foot, maybe if you really want to go on the low end, 1,000. But 1,000 pounds per square foot as opposed to 3,000 PS square inches, okay? So 1,000 pounds per square foot is really, really bad soil, okay? And so the average soil, like on the North Shore and even all along I-10, except in swampy areas, the soil will carry a load of somewhere between 1,500 to 3,000 pounds per square foot. Now, so when you take that into account, you have an 18-inch augered hole with concrete in the bottom, so it will support between 2,500 pounds and 5,100 pounds. Now, the way you get that is from that terrible joke, you know, the guy that the teacher told him that pi r square, and he said, no, teacher, pi r round, right? Okay, but it's just pi r squared. Pi r squared, that gives you the square foot area of that concrete elephant foot, okay? That's the way to look at it, like an elephant foot. And then that times 1,500 pounds per square foot, so pounds per square foot times square foot gives you pounds. And so that's what that concrete, that hole with concrete in the bottom of it will hold up, 2,500 to 5,100 pounds. Now, so 2,500 to 5,100 is a lot more than 1,000 to 2,000. So that's why our building is not going to sink. Now, Mr. Mallett, you know, he's been doing this for 20 years or more, and he has heard of buildings sinking, post-frame buildings that sink. Well, why? Why did it sink? Well, if you don't put concrete in the bottom of the hole, now you're not dealing with pi r squared. You're dealing with the footprint of a 6x6 post, okay? And a 6x6 post, 0.5 times 0.5 gives you 0.25 square feet, okay? 0.25, which is 7 times less than the area of our 18-inch circle. 7 times less. That means that a 6x6 post just sitting in the soil will take 7 times less the load. And so you can see that through the math that you have exceeded, that the column load is more than that post can handle. It could begin to sink. Now, why do I say that it could begin to sink? Well, because soil is weird, okay? It's just, it is. It's got this factor called friction. And if you've ever the piling, if you know anything about New Orleans, a lot of structures in New Orleans are on pilings, so they drive wooden pilings in the ground, and sometimes they bear on something, but most of the time they get all of their capacity for bearing from friction. In other words, it's just the suction of the earth on that pile that's what holds up the building. And so even when you have a post that's 3 foot in the ground, you get some friction, but you don't ever know if you're going to get that friction. And especially if you don't have a soil report, and of course, most time in residential applications, we don't have a soil report. So the bottom line is the official engineering explanation of a 6x6 without concrete in the bottom of the hole is it will not work. And that's why we do it, and that's why you need to buy a Mallett building, because we always do it. So that's the talk for today.
Mr. Tim is asking, what do you think about adding additional concrete around the posts? Do you think it's necessary?
Well, Mr. Tackett, you will never find an engineer who will not say more is better. That is just always the case. And so, yes, I agree. I agree with you. It is better. And see, the other thing that you get into with that is that if you don't have the slab, and I've spoken about this before, you get into that's a whole different ball game, because the post frame manual has several categories of formulas for determining the size of the post and the moment on the post, the twist on the post, and the one that is the best is when the post is constrained at the surface, and that's what you get out of that slab. So it's the post is locked in, and it's not free to move. And but if you don't have a slab, then you certainly need to put more. You need to put more concrete in the hole. And in some of those cases where we don't have slab, most all of our buildings we have the slab to counteract so we use that formula. But if we don't have that, then we have to put more concrete in the hole. All right, well, I'll see y'all next week, and buy a Mallett building. Thanks.